Namaskar. Shri Nitin Gadkari, the Honorable Minister, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. General Dr. V.K. Singh, retired, Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. Dignitaries on the days, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning and a warm welcome. On behalf of Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, I extend a warm and hearty welcome to you all to the launch of Bharat New Car Assessment Program. As one of the fastest growing economies in the world, we now proudly boast of the best highways and road network in the world, and the fastest growing automobile sector as well. The Honorable Minister's personal initiative and wisdom is that world-class road networks drive world-class economic growth, but the safety of the citizens is the top priority, and it is also a big-time personal initiative for him. We extend a very warm welcome to you, sirs. May I request you to kindly light the ceremonial lamp and launch and start this morning's program, the launch of Bharat New Car Assessment Program. We would like to share with you all that the lighting of the traditional lamp symbolizes new and auspicious beginnings. As the lamp is being lit, let's close our eyes, let's bow down our heads in obeisance to Lord Almighty and pray for the success of one and all. दीप प्रज्वलन समारोह के साथ इस कार्यक्रम का विधिवत शुभारंभ करते हुए माननीय मंत्रीवर। Ladies and gentlemen, it is the endeavor of the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways to make the roads and highways very safe for each and every citizen of India. It is this endeavor that led us to the launch of Bharat New Car Assessment Program. This morning, it gives me great pleasure to welcome in our midst Shri Mahmood Ahmed, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. May I request him to kindly deliver the welcome and opening address. Please welcome with a round of applause.
Honorable Union Minister, Road Transport and Highways, Shri Nitin Gadkari ji, Honorable Minister of State, Road Transport and Highways, General Dr. V.K. Singh ji, respected Secretary, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, Shri Anurag Jain ji, Mr. David Ward, Executive President, Towards Zero Foundation, Mr. Vinod Agarwal, President SIAM, senior officers, executives from the industry, esteemed guests, very good morning to all of you. It's with immense pleasure that I stand before you today as we mark a significant milestone in the field of vehicle and road safety. I am honored to welcome you all to the launch event of the Bharat New Car Assessment Program, or Bharat NCAP, an initiative that holds the promise of transforming our approach towards vehicular safety. Under the visionary leadership of Shri Nitin Gadkari ji, Honorable Minister, Road Transport and Highways, we embark on this journey that underscores our commitment to advancing vehicle safety in our great nation. Bharat NCAP emerges as a crucial response to the evolving landscape of mobility and the paramount importance of safeguarding human lives. With the rapid expansion of our road networks and the increasing number of vehicles, it is our duty to ensure that each journey is accompanied by the assurance of safety. The NCAP sets out to achieve precisely that by evaluating and encouraging the production of vehicles that meet the highest safety standards. Through Bharat NCAP, we aim to foster a culture where safety is not an option but an inherent aspect of every vehicle. Bharat NCAP will provide star ratings to all M1 category vehicles and is aligned with the global crash test protocols. The rating will provide consumers an indication of the level of protection offered by the vehicle for empowering them to take an informed decision. This is expected to increase consumer demand for safer vehicles, further encouraging the OEMs to innovate and develop vehicles with enhanced safety features. I would like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to the global NCAP for their support and inputs, and towards the automotive industry in general for embracing this initiative and committing to raising the safety bar. Your support towards NCAP has been instrumental in driving this positive change. Together, we can build a future where our roads serve as pathways to a safer and more secure society. The launch of Bharat NCAP is a new beginning, a beginning that promises safer journeys, brighter futures, and a nation that values the lives of its citizens above all else. Thank you and welcome again to today's launch.
Thank you, sir, for that warm welcome address. Safety is not an option, but an inherent need of the citizen of India, each and every one of them. Ladies and gentlemen, seated in our midst this morning is Shri Anurag Jain, Secretary, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. I now request him to kindly deliver his address. Please put your hands together and give a warm welcome.
Honorable Minister, Mr. Gadkari ji, Honorable MOS, Retired General Mr. Singh, Additional Secretary Mr. Mahmood, Mr. David Wan from Global NCAP, Mr. Agrawal, Chairperson of SIAM, and Mr. KC Sharma, who has been instrumental in driving this consultation process with all of you, and he's our in-house expert on the safety and the transportation. Today is a very important day in the history of automobile industry in India. This is the first time we are embarking on a journey where we are telling the world that yes, please look at this, we are conscious of the safety. As all of us know that under visionary leadership of Honorable Prime Minister, India has come out with a vision 2047. There's a time that India would be a developed country. We are at a cusp where almost everyone in the world agrees to this kind of a situation going to happen. That next about 25 to 30 years, India is going to remain the fastest growing economy of the world. We have the demography, we have the talent, and we have all the geopolitical situations aligning in our favor at the moment. We all know, so I'll not get into detail. All of you are from industry, so you keep a close tab of what's happening around in the economy. So that presents to us an opportunity. And to take advantage of that, what the government of the day has done is that there's a vision across the nation, where the whole nation walks towards the vision, and there's a kind of leadership which has been provided. So two of the major aspects where we deal with it, one is the infrastructure, where Vision 2047 for the department, for the ministry, which was led by the Honorable Minister, is to create an infrastructure which befits a developed country. So we have embarked on a journey to create access controlled expressways and highways for the first time on such a major scale. We have already in process of constructing 9,000 access controlled highways. As part of the vision in the next 10, 12 years, maybe 15 years, we would complete the vision which has been charted out, which would mean about 47,000 kilometers of access controlled highways. Given the speed with which Honorable Minister works, I think this will be on the lower side of the estimation. So we'll have access controlled highways. So speed of transportation is increasing. As of now, we have almost about 1.5 lakh fatalities on the road. In terms of number of accidents, we are less than US. But in terms of fatalities, we are much more, many times more than what it is in US. What is the major difference? If the accidents are happening and our speeds are slower, then why do we have more fatalities? There's a question as the automobile industry we need to think at. What is the difference between the cars which are running on the roads of US or Germany, Europe or developed world or Japan or us? One is user behavior, will not get into that. That's captured in the number of accidents. But it is the fatalities which I want to point out. So we have to get into this. I hope that Bharat NCAP will actually give a new direction to our industry. I'm actually very grateful to the whole industry, the kind of consultations we have had. And truly, as I am told that there is not a single voice against this. You have embraced this program wholeheartedly. And whatever suggestions which came at the last time after the final draft was published, we have even taken all those concerns into account. Incidentally, sir, we have followed up almost everything what the global NCAP says. But based on the industry suggestion, two very important points came up, which we actually did change in the final notification. One was that we were actually specifying that we'll follow such and such global standard. Industry said that when we have got our own standard, why do we? It's a reflection of a confident country. We should say that we'll follow the Indian standard. Of course, they are aligned and tuned to the global standards, but it's just semantics. So we changed that. We agreed to industry's suggestion. But what was more important, interestingly, what happens, that for the 4-star rating, there are two kinds of testing. One is a frontal crash, one is a side crash. So you get scores on both and the total of it gives you a star rating. So if you get, sir, something like 8.3 on one test and 13.7 on another test, total of 22, you will end up getting 4-star. You get 8.3 on the same test, get 14 on the other test, your star rating will go down to 3-star from 4-star. That is the global NCAP formulation. Somehow people thought whatever they thought, because they wanted to ensure that when a company starts, industry wants to work on something, they should raise both the levels. So the gap between both the levels was pegged at 35%. When we looked at this problem was raised by the industry, sir, that there is a penalty for this. So being what India has unique to itself, we came up with a arithmetical formulation and calculated. And we said in each of the tests, if minimum is 8.2, the difference is not material, because 22 with a 35% gap gives you exactly arithmetic number of 8.2. So that's a much cleaner way of saying not penalizing a better quality on one of the indicators. So we have uniquely adopted the global model, and hopefully this benchmarking will continue to be accepted in the global world. What this will also do, this will make our industry more export oriented. Our models will be able to sell in the export market. So this will further help our industry. I think that was a very positive news about a couple of months back or maybe 3 months back, that we overtook Japan and became the 3rd largest automobile industry in the world. So this is something which is going to help the industry to grow further, be more competitive in the export market, meet those standards. Another thought which Honorable Minister has been telling us when I joined and we had these discussions, that all these safety features are available in the high-end cars. It is only in the low-end cars we try to look at the cost competitiveness and cut out on these features. Is the life of a common man not important to the industry? That's a question we need to answer. Trust me, the days are gone where the cost was a prime mover of the consumer's choice. India is changing very fast. The kind of impression we had about the country, that cost is the most important factor, things are changing. If you are giving quality, quality becomes more important than the cost alone. Now, large sizable population is in a position to afford, and therefore they would move towards a quality. Try out the experiment. I am sure when you start giving better quality, your sale will increase. And that has already started reflecting the market. I mean, if you see the trend in the last 1.5 years, you are selling more SUVs now than the sedans and the smaller models. The growth of smaller models is lower than the growth of the higher models. What does it reflect? People are craving for the quality. So I am sure that industry will take this as a very important milestone and move wholeheartedly towards providing the safety feature, reduce the deaths, fatalities on the road, which is a very, very heavy cost to our economy. World Bank says it is 2 to 3% of the GDP which is lost, socio-economic cost of the total road accidents. According to our own estimates, which I was reading some reports of the department, in 2015 it was estimated to be 0.77% of the GDP. It was a very accurate number. I don't know which report is right. It's all studies. But anywhere between say 1 to 3%, if that is the loss of the GDP, why do we want to suffer that? So I am sure you will move forward. This is a very positive trend, sir. Most of these people, since morning I'll not mention because some people did make a request to me to mention that they are offering so many models. But I've got feedback from almost every car manufacturer that they are offering. Maybe 15 to 20 models have already come for the offer of evaluation of the star rating on the BNCAP. So that's a very positive and encouraging sign. Thank you, industry, for this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those very inspiring words. Ladies and gentlemen, as the cars get bigger and faster, Towards Zero Foundation works relentlessly towards zero road crashes and zero loss of life. It is our privilege to welcome in our midst this morning Mr. David Ward, President Towards Zero Foundation. May I request him to kindly share his presentation on global perspective of NCAP. Please welcome.
Shri Minister Nitin Gadkari, distinguished guests, it's actually quite hard to put into words how immensely satisfying today is to see the progress that and the historic moment that this represents. My presentation this morning, I just want to give a quick background to the formation of the Safer Cars for India project 10 years ago. It's been quite a journey, which many of you have followed. The motivation was quite simple. TZF hosts the Global New Car Assessment Program, which is a partnership of all the NCAPs around the world. And a few years before, there'd been a ministerial conference on road safety, the first, held in Moscow, and there was a global plan for the decade. And one of the key points there in the vehicle safety side was to encourage the creation of NCAPs in all world regions. And of course, India was absolutely a key target, because of the rising importance of the automotive industry and the profile of India globally. So that inspired us to contact a good partner of ours, the Institute for Road Traffic Education, who Arushi Baluja is here. And with support from Dr. Rohit Baluja, we started the Safer Cars for India project as an experiment, as a sort of prototype NCAP. And the first results were a little disappointing. A lot of zero-star cars, a lot of media coverage. It's very encouraging to see all the cameras at the back there. That time also we got a lot of attention. And what was most encouraging was the response, both from industry and from the government. And it's so satisfying 10 years later to see the progress that's been achieved. What we've seen in the last 10 years is the benefits of what we call demand pull and regulatory push. And that's where greater consumer information, and we've now tested in the Safer Cars for India project over 50 models, the effect that has had both on raising awareness amongst consumers here in India about the importance of the choices they can make when they buy a vehicle, and also encourage competition, open and fair competition between manufacturers to prove that they can build much safer vehicles. And that's been the experience we've seen. It was enormously satisfying for us to see in 2018 the first 5-star car awarded to Tata, and we've now seen a number of manufacturers competing for 4- and 5-star cars under the existing protocol. And that is the benefits of the NCAP system at work. But on top of that, and here I would really like to pay enormous credit to Minister Gadkari, Honourable Minister Gadkari, because the Indian government responded with a really strong package of vehicle safety regulations. And that's the regulatory push part of this story. And so from 2015, the government initiated a series of measures introducing front and side crash tests, pedestrian protection, and so on, and further pledges to come, for example, for electronic stability control. And what this shows is that this model of demand pull and regulatory push really, really works. But of course, for us, when we launched the Safer Cars for India project, we had no idea how long it would take to launch a Bharat NCAP. We were pragmatic about this, but we were extremely encouraged by the evidence that we saw. And so today is really a magnificent day for us. I would just like to highlight the positive results we've seen over the last decade. This chart, obviously it's very difficult for you to read, but that is all the results since 2014. And the other graph shows the almost collapse in 0-star cars. And that is the combination of the regulatory standard introduced by the government and then the growing consumer awareness. So we've seen enormous progress over the last 10 years already, and Bharat NCAP is just going to take that to a new level. I would just quickly highlight the evolution of the protocols. All NCAPs around the world periodically review their protocols. Roughly every 5 years or so, they upgrade. And they can afford to be, the whole purpose of NCAPs is to be a little bit more ambitious and flexible than minimum regulatory standards. And that's why you'll see all around the world the different NCAPs occasionally updating their protocols. And that's what we did also. And we're very pleased that as the basis of the Bharat NCAP, you are using our protocol. I think it's quite understandable that this will adapt over time to your conditions and circumstances. All the NCAPs around the world do that. For example, ASEAN NCAP includes within its protocol a blind spot detection rating to do with two-wheeler motorcycles with a slightly stronger rear view mirror. They adapted that all on their own. They're a world leader in that, and there's absolutely every opportunity for Bharat NCAP to do the similar adaptations to meet your own circumstances, your own needs. One thing I would say is that Global NCAP's purpose is to encourage collaboration amongst the NCAPs. Next year we will have our World Congress of NCAPs being hosted in Munich in Germany, April 23rd to the 25th. And all the NCAPs will be present. There are meetings of NCAPs in private where they discuss their work together, but also make presentations to a wider audience. There will also be a focus on commercial vehicles. And we really hope that Bharat NCAP can come to this event and join the family of NCAPs who do try and work together as much as they can. So I really do think that it is time to reach for the stars. I think the time is absolutely right for Bharat NCAP, and it's just a huge satisfaction for us to have been part of this story, but only a part. The critical ingredient has been the commitment of the government, Honourable Minister, the dialogue with industry, and with our local partners, particularly IRTE. I would just like to finish with it's very appropriate given that India is hosting the G20 or the summit later this year. This chart shows, so it's difficult to see the distance, but it shows all of the production of vehicles by the G20. The G20 accounts for about 85% of all passenger car manufacturing in the world. So they are really the hub of the automotive industry. And of course, China at the top is the largest market, but you'll see if you follow the colours along the little images, the European Union is the one that has the full set of all the most advanced vehicle regulations. Perhaps that's not surprising, including most recently intelligent speed assistance. But what you will see is how India has shot up. And in fact, I would say without any hesitation that in the last decade, the most improved country in vehicle standards in the G20 has undoubtedly been India. And I really would like to pay tribute to Minister Gadkari for his determination and patience and indefatigability in pushing ahead with this agenda, and the response that we are seeing from industry and all the key stakeholders. It does mean that India has really moved up a league in the G20 and completely meets the aspirations that have been spoken of already this morning. And I would say it's an opportunity. You have your summit later this year, and I hope that the leadership that India has already shown can be transferred to the rest of the G20, because if you look at some of the performers in that list are not doing that well, and we need to encourage them, because in the end, we want to save lives, of course here in India, but across the world. So really, I would just like to finish by thanking everyone involved. I really, again, have to say enormous thanks to IRTE, without whom this project would not have been possible. Also, our key donors, the FI Foundation and Bloomberg Philanthropies, which have given us the resources to enable the work over the last 10 years. And we really look forward with enormous pleasure and satisfaction to welcome Bharat NCAP to the family of NCAPs. And that's why it's, for me personally, it's just a wonderful thing to be here this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ward, for sharing that perspective. Global NPAC is one of the foremost initiatives of Towards Zero Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have gathered here for the launch of Bharat NCAP, that is Bharat New Car Assessment Program. The New Car Assessment Program is an assessment of vehicles on safety parameters and to rate them on a scale of 0 to 5 stars. Let's now watch this introductory video on Bharat NCAP. May I request the audiovisual team to kindly play the video?
As per the report on road accidents in India 2021, around 1.5 lakh lives are lost to road accidents every year. Thoroughly distressing as the scenario could be, the Government of India, led by the reformist Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi and the Honorable Minister for Road Transport and Highways Shri Nitin Gadkari, is determined to get this number reduced. Working in this direction, a number of safety-related endeavors are paced up and a number of new projects have been initiated. The Honorable Minister of Road Transport and Highways is extremely sensitive and fully aware that road safety improvement targets can be achieved by offering safe road infrastructure and safer vehicles. Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, MORTH, is keen to provide the highest safety standards for vehicles and has in the process introduced a slew of mandatory measures for enhancing safety features in vehicles over the last few years. Among others, these include airbags, crash tests and seat belt reminders. Also, every new car model in India must undergo and clear the mandatory tests as per the Central Motor Vehicle Rules 1989. This is a prerequisite for permitting the vehicle to ply on the Indian roads. The car owners in India are also according priority to safer vehicles with better safety features while making their choice for buying a new car. The Government of India realizes the need to encourage OEMs to keep enhancing the safety of the cars as well as the need of the potential car owners to be able to ascertain the safety rating of a car before making a purchase decision. Taking this into account, the Government of India has introduced the Bharat New Car Assessment Program, NCAP. Under this program, The cars sold in the Indian market will be tested against an automotive safety standard to assess the performance of the car in the areas of structural integrity, adult occupant safety, child occupant safety, and safety assist technologies, and accordingly assign safety star ratings to the car based on the performance of the car in these tests. This safety star rating would assist the prospective car buyers by providing them the information and rating on the safety of the car, which will help in their decision making for procurement of a car. These new star ratings will also incentivize the car manufacturers to upgrade the safety features and enhance the structural strength of their vehicles. Hence, this program is expected to provide the ecosystem for all the stakeholders to raise the safety levels of cars beyond regulatory norms. These much-needed new developments would promote a healthy culture amongst car manufacturers who would soon compete towards designing and manufacturing more robust and safer cars to stay relevant in the market scenario. The country is surely evolving into a safety-sensitive vehicle market in the near future. The Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has now approved the notification for the implementation of the Bharat NCAP, along with the testing standards of AIS 197. Bharat NCAP, with its safety ratings, would be fully functional from the 1st of October 2023. The Indian automobile industry is the growth engine of the Indian economy. Implementation of Bharat NCAP would not only increase the quality and safety of Indian cars, but would also greatly improve the export potential of the Indian cars in global markets. This would be an extremely important step towards realizing the mission and vision of Honorable Minister Shri Nitin Gadkari, that is making the Indian automobile industry the #1 automobile manufacturing hub in the world. As the world looks up to India for its meteoric rise in the global economic scenario, the safety of every Indian is becoming a top priority of Indian leadership led by Honorable PM Shri Narendra Modi and supported by the Honorable Minister of Road Transport and Highways Shri Nitin Gadkari. It is only a matter of time before India attains its much coveted target of reducing fatalities caused by road accidents as it continues to sprint towards becoming a world leader in the Committee of Nations.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the pleasure of having in our midst Shri K.C. Sharma, Superintending Engineer, MVL, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. May I now request him to kindly share his presentation on Bharat New Car Assessment Program.
Honorable Minister, Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways, Honorable Minister of State for Road Transport and Highways, Secretary Sir, dignitaries on the dais and distinguished guests. Before I begin to say something on this, give you a brief snapshot on this Bharat NCAP program, at the outset I would like to tell you that this journey began sometimes in 2011, but at a slow pace, when we wanted to create a concept like this, but this gained momentum in 2016 when we decided that we should create a standard, and this is in the larger interest for both, all the stakeholders, the industry, the consumers and everybody for that matter. Now, I would also mention that some of the people here in the audience, to name a few, like Mr. Manikar, Mr. Anil Kumar and Mr. Saukar, were instrumental in preparing the first zero draft for this document. Now, to give you an overall, let me give you a brief summary of this whole program. This program is applicable to type approved vehicles. When we say type approved, I mean that all the vehicles which are otherwise fit to ply on the roads, it is the basic condition for applicability of the program is the vehicle must be type approved. Again, the second point is that it should be of M1 category, which means less than 8+ driver, not exceeding 8 passengers and a driver. And it should be less than 3.5 tons in terms of gross vehicle weight. The second important point is that this is a voluntary program in which the base variants of any given model will be tested. The date of applicability of this program is 1st October 23, and it is based on automotive industry standard AIS 197. The concept of this entire program is to create an ecosystem for enhancement of safety, and which will ultimately lead to increasing consumer awareness. Now, once the vehicles with different star ratings are available with him, based on his financial might, he can make a comparative analysis as to which vehicle is more suited for his requirement. It also means a lot to the OEMs who will be manufacturing vehicles of global safety standards, which will be both useful in the Indian market as well as in the global market. So far as I will be telling you something about the details of the program, but this program will be anchored by Central Institute of Road Transport, and this program has been devised after stakeholder consultation with all the stakeholders, be it the OEMs, testing agencies, component manufacturers, everybody for that matter. Now, there is a need for regulatory standards to evolve with time. As you all know, the vehicle speeds are increasing. Beyond vehicle type approval, there is a need which is felt for improving the standards of inspection and maintenance. Ministry is also coming up with end of life and scrapping of older vehicles, so we must have world-class standards so that all new generation vehicles are of better standards, or rather world-class standards. The safety assist technologies, be it electronic stability control, automatic emergency braking system, airbags, are being introduced, and it will have a positive impact. It has been observed that it has a positive impact in terms of accidents. Now, the last point is that we must encourage innovation, and this can only happen if the standards are raised. Now, the standard, there is a important point here. Earlier, it was the entire process was regulatory in the sense that everything was mandated by the government. Now, here by making it voluntary, it is the OEMs will take a step forward in creating better standards, and which will be of great use to the consumer. What are the steps we have taken so far? Everybody in the house is well aware, whether it is ABS, whether it is CBS, airbags for the driver, co-driver, seat belt reminder, and reverse parking sensor, to name a few. And then this is another initiative of passive safety, where we are trying to improve the sturdiness of the vehicle in terms of vehicle stiffness and additional safety technologies. Now, this is where India stands in the Global League for Vehicle Crash Test Assessment Program. Though it started off in US quite early as 1978, but then we can take pride in the sense that now we are also a part of the same league. Now, what is the readiness level and at this stage? First, let me tell you that infrastructure requirement for testing is ready. The manpower is being trained by the experts. Now, the testing agencies are well geared up for this entire exercise. And the standard AIS 197 is ready as of now. Though all of you know very well that standard is an evolving process and it grows with time as the realities change. But we are still working in the area of IT infrastructure, which will come up very soon, where the entire data at the worksheet for output worksheet will be displayed, and the standing operating procedure for stickers, etc., is yet to be worked out. Now, MORTH, as you are well aware, has been involved in finalizing the testing protocols in consultation with the various stakeholders. Now, the organization structure, the financing funding structure, all that has been finalized. CIRT will be an anchoring institution responsible for defining the operating procedures, which has again been evolved through consultation. And whatever are the test results will be, after a due process of approval, shall be displayed on the website. Now, the OEMs will be coordinating with CIRT to initiate the whole process and take action based on the standard rating of cars. Now, I'll put the entire thing in the form of a process flow. After the OEM has nominated a vehicle model for getting it tested, it will be sent for vehicle selection, and through the NCAP representatives, and there the process of selection would be through random sampling. Now, thereafter it will be dispatched to the concerned testing agency, where the vehicle will be tested strictly in accordance with AIS 197, and then after assessing the result, result shall be validated by the team of experts, and then after the results are validated and approved by the standing committee, it shall be displayed on the website. And finally, the results will be published and a certificate to the effect will be handed over to the applicant. Now, what are the areas of evaluation, and what is essentially being tested? Now, there are three areas. One is adult occupant protection, other one is child occupant protection, and third is fitment of safety assist technology. Now, to assess this, the adult occupant protection will be tested through the dummies, which will be placed within the vehicles in a format defined under the standard, and there 4 areas in the body, that is the head, the chest, the abdomen and the thigh, there the level of injury, force, deformation, etc. will be calculated, and after the results are formulated, then based on the injury criteria, some stars shall be awarded. Now, what are the tests? A similar process will be followed for a child occupant, and there will be a test for the assessment of safety assist technology. Now, all these three, the test will be essentially 2 for frontal impact through ODB, offset deformable barrier, the side impact test, and in 3 or 4 or 5 stars, it will be through additional test would be that of a pole side impact test. Now, the qualifiers for this, in terms of fitment of safety technologies would be the fitment of ESC, pedestrian protection, seat belt reminders, and then in 3, 4, 5 star pole side impact as well. Now, this is the, I have tried to capture 2 things here. One, which I have already stated, we started off from an era where the regulations were being mandated. Now we are creating a situation where we are requesting the OEM to voluntarily come forward to get their vehicles tested. And then what is our aim in the future? Our aim is to narrow and bridge down the gap between Indian standard and global standard and have complete global alignment. Now, an indicative list, this is not something which government immediately wants to do that. I was just contemplating that in future we will have active safety systems like 360-degree vision, automatic emergency braking system, lane departure warning, and in the passive area, full frontal crash, oblique pole side impact, rear impact protection, and again for specific tests for EV and alternate fuel risk mitigation. So thank you all. Namaskar and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Shri Sharma. Ladies and gentlemen, today here in our midst is the President of the Society of Indian Automobiles Manufacturer, Shri Vinod Agarwal. We shall hear from him a presentation on auto industry perspective. So please put your hands together and give a warm welcome.
Respected Honorable Minister of Road Transport and Highways, Shri Nitin Gadkari ji. Respected Union Minister of State for Road Transport and Highways, General V.K. Singh ji. Secretary, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, Shri Anurag Jain ji. Additional Secretary, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, Shri Mahmood Ahmed ji. Superintending Engineer, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, Shri Keshi Sharma. Chief Engineer, sorry. Congratulations, and so Sharma ji. And President towards Zero Foundation, Mr. David Bard, my colleagues from the industry, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning. In 2014, when Shri Gadkari ji took over the reins as Junior Minister for Road Transport and Highways, his vision was to make the vehicles that are manufactured in India the safest and most environment friendly. To my mind, as Indian auto industry, we are proud that we have come a long way as far as enhancing both passive and active safety features of our vehicles are concerned. In India, we have already adopted stringent crash safety norms for passenger vehicles, ranging from full frontal, offset frontal, lateral collision, and pedestrian protection test norms. In addition, to provide increased safety to the drivers and co-drivers, 2 airbags, anti-lock braking systems, anchorages for child seats have been introduced, including many other safety parameters, some of which are beyond the global safety standards also. Since India is also committed to improve the road safety through the UN Decade of Action Plan 2030, wherein we need to reduce 50% of the fatalities from the base year 2020. Indian automobile industry will closely work with Government of India in a holistic manner to jointly achieve this target. In this regard, there is a need to continuously focus on the 4 E's of road safety, which are engineering, education, enforcement, and emergency response. The need for more safer and robust vehicles for our roads are even more important in the present context, as we are now beginning to see long stretches of world-class road infrastructure being built across the length and the breadth of the country. We are also thankful that the Government of India has taken up the task to ensure removal of more than 1,000 black spots on our highways, which would bring down the road accidents by just changes in the road engineering. I assure you, sir, that Indian automobile industry will continue to develop and manufacture more safer vehicles, which would not only meet the regulated safety standards set by the government, but would be much beyond them. In this context, Bharat NCAP program being launched today by the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways is a very timely and apt, as the safety star rating of the new passenger vehicles will go a long way in educating customers in making the informed purchase decisions, which would now be very, very strongly influenced by the safety parameters of the vehicle. A standardized evaluation method will also help customers compare safety rating of different cars and help them choose an appropriate model. As we have seen from the presentation of Sharma ji, a very, very comprehensive testing program has been devised. We are now happy to see that Bharat NCAP protocol developed is at par with global NCAP norms and would like to compliment the Government of India for launch of this safety rating program. This program will eventually help market forces push the vehicle manufacturers to offer safer vehicles with potential of bringing everlasting change in the attitude of customers during the purchase. The MOU being signed today between Towards Zero Foundation and the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways is a very important initiative which will ensure that robustness of the Bharat NCAP program continues to evolve in alignment with the global standards. Once again, I would like to thank the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways under the leadership of Shri Gadkari ji for his great initiative, and let us continue to make our roads more and more safer. Jai Hind. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shri Agrawal. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the endeavor of the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways to ensure the success of Bharat NCAP by bringing together the auto industry, the component industry, as well as the perspective of the consumers in this forum. We shall now have a presentation on component industry perspective. Please join me in welcoming the representative from Automotive Component Manufacturers Association, Shri Vinny Mehta. Let's welcome him with a round of applause for this presentation.
Namaskar, sir. Honorable Minister Shri Nitin Gadkari ji, Honorable Minister of State General Dr. V.K. Singh, retired, Anurag Jain ji, Secretary MORTH, Mahmood Ahmed ji, Additional Secretary MORTH, Mr. David Ward, President Zero Foundation, Vinod Agarwal ji, President SIAM, President Designate ACMA Shraddha Suri ji in the audience, K.C. Sharma ji, Chief Engineer, MORTH, dignitaries amongst the audience, ladies and gentlemen. This is truly a momentous and a historical occasion. And at the outset, I thank Honorable Minister Gadkari ji. Sir, without your resolve to make the Indian roads, the Indian vehicles safe, and also the need to cut down on emission, this wouldn't have been possible. While this is a rating program, but today India is, and of course it gives stars, but today India is actually a shining star in the firmament. I express my gratitude to all the officials at MORTH and to all the AISC panel members, including experts from the vehicle industry, the component industry, the testing agencies, who have worked together in a very, very democratic fashion. We did have differences, but all thinking beings must have differences. But I must give credit to Additional Secretary and to Sharma ji for teeing this all together so well that today we have really a world-class protocol. And as Anurag ji said, I think in some ways this protocol is much better than a whole lot of global NCAP, and I do hope that they do adopt this program. And indeed, with one of the highest number of road accidents and fatalities in the world, this protocol was long overdue. And as an industry partner, ACMA is committed to take forward its implementation together with the vehicle industry. As we all know, the Bharat NCAP is a voluntary program, and we are indeed very, very well begun today. I believe that this will serve as a catalyst for creation of a globally harmonized and a competitive automotive market in the country. It will also lead to rapid adoption of safety technologies in vehicles and, of course, make them safer. This program will also enable consumers to make much more informed choices. And speaking from a perspective of the component industry, integration of safety features will stimulate growth in the entire automotive value chain, leading to increased production of technology-rich components, and also lead to more investments in our industry, and of course investments create jobs. That's another advantage. It will also lead to increased opportunities for those component manufacturers, particularly those engaged in safety and vehicular electronics, such as manufacturers of airbags, seat belts, ECUs, sensors, electronic stability controls. Increased collaborations with OEMs and tie-ups with technology players will create opportunities for customized solutions in vehicles. And needless to say, it will lead to better export opportunities. I'm very proud of the fact that the auto component industry is a very export-oriented industry. Last year, we clocked a turnover of $70 billion, and we export almost 30% of our production. And indeed, standards should help the industry to penetrate deeper into the global market. And last but not the least, this will enable the suppliers to invest more in R&D and innovation. Secretary referred to this, not only for soft safety solution, but also focus on newer areas such as new materials and composites and high strength steel and aluminum and other areas. And David referred to the NCAP being refreshed every 5 years, and I think in India too, with the data that we will create out of the NCAP tests, we will also create a positive reinforcement cycle, which will again lead to better vehicles. And in addition, I also see a plethora of other opportunities and benefits for the larger ecosystem. Increased awareness on safety will lead to better and safer driving practices, the driving practices of the way we drive on the road today. Reduced number of injuries and fatalities in road accidents will also lead to reduction in healthcare costs. We know our healthcare system is very, very stretched today. Insurance sector would probably be motivated to introduce lower insurance premiums or consider offering incentives on vehicles with higher safety ratings. So the opportunities are indeed immense, and I just hope that all of us as ecosystem players do sort of move in the right direction. So as I conclude, I once again assure Honorable Minister of ACMA's support and commitment to contribute to the cause of road safety and vehicular safety and remain engaged in the consultative process in the formulation of future phases of BNCAP protocol and towards all other safety initiatives of the ministry. Once again, my heartiest congratulations to all the stakeholders on this momentous occasion. The responsibility now lies with the industry to ensure a safer and an accident-free India. Thank you. Jai Hind. Namaskar.
Thank you, Mr. Mehta, for sharing that component industry perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the pleasure of having in our midst this morning Shri Piyush Tiwari, founder and CEO, Save Life Foundation. May I request him to kindly join us on stage and share the presentation on consumer safety perspective. Please welcome with a round of applause.
Honorable Minister of Road Transport and Highways, Shri Nitin Gadkari ji. Honorable Minister of State for Road Transport and Highways, Dr. General V.K. Singh ji. Respected Secretary, Shri Anurag Jain ji. Distinguished dignitaries on the dais and those present in the room. I wish to begin by congratulating the Honorable Minister and the entire team at the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways for this historic day today. We wholeheartedly welcome this initiative that is set to propel road safety in India. Well, we've all gathered to hear the Honorable Minister, so I'll keep my remarks extremely brief. I founded Save Life Foundation 15 years ago after losing a young family member to a road crash. It's a feeling that most of us are aware of, and it is to prevent that trauma and that feeling that we've all gathered in this room today, and it is for that very reason that the Ministry and the Honorable Minister has taken this entire initiative. One of the things that Save Life does today through its team is forensic investigation of crashes. And through those crashes, we discover various facets of road crashes, what caused the crash, whether it's a vehicle-related issue or a road infrastructure issue or a behavioral issue, and in many cases, a combination of all of these issues. This was mentioned by Honorable Secretary and also by Mr. K.C. Sharma as well as Mr. Ward, that US started its testing protocols, its vehicular safety many decades ago. And as we can see from this very popular graph on the internet, that there has been a remarkable drop in fatalities on the roads in the US with progression in vehicle safety norms that we have seen come about in that country. And what we are hoping for is that we will see this significant drop in fatalities as vehicle standards improve in India through this remarkable testing program being launched today. Talking about our crash investigation work very briefly, in many of the vehicles we have investigated, we have seen in nearly 2/3 of vehicles passenger compartment intrusion playing a key role in fatalities. Of course, many of these vehicles are pre-2018 and many of the speeds of impact were more than 64 kilometers an hour. But it's a statistic worth noting because it's a significant cause of death and disability on our roads today. In many cases, we saw seat deformation, and in many cases, almost 1/3 of cases, we have seen the common braking technologies like ABS, EBD, ESC missing. So therefore, the Bharat NCAP program, we believe, is going to be a game changer, not just by giving the industry honest feedback, but by boosting consumer confidence in while they move ahead with their purchases. The transparency this will bring will, of course, the stickers showing the stars will, of course, play a significant role in the decision-making process, and we welcome that transparency wholeheartedly again. This was mentioned by the Honorable Secretary, but India-specific testing matters. We have very unique conditions, and we require cultural empathy while approaching what's the realities of our road conditions, the realities of our drivers, and the economic realities of our families and people who commute in our cars. Clearly a win-win. Of course, this will reduce fatalities and injuries. That's the hope. But most importantly, as we also saw in a picture shared by Mr. Ward, that this will enhance brand reputation. This will ensure that safety also becomes a key feature, a key selling point, in addition to all the the other technologies and other the looks and the design that we often see being promoted in these cases. An interesting point that I noticed while in the previous speeches is that this could enable India to become a hub not just for R&D but also for testing. We saw in the G20 ranking list that Mr. Ward showed that there are many G20 countries that are low on the vehicle safety rankings, and India could perhaps become the hub to test their vehicles with the evolved newer standards and similar economic and socioeconomic conditions that we see here. So moving forward, we heard about the regular updates to the NCAP. We welcome that very much. We hope this will lead to culture-specific research, not just to feed vehicle design, but also to drastically change the behavior of drivers. In many crash testing protocols, we have seen the use of child restraint systems, for example, and those tests could really boost the consumer, sort of perspective and move to invest in child restraint systems and invest in other safety-related systems overall. And finally, our hope is that the Bharat NCAP program will evolve to become a Bharat New Vahan assessment program so that other vehicles, especially those that carry passengers like buses, will eventually also be subjected to crash testing and lead to better and evolved standards. Once again, thank you to the Honorable Minister and this ministry for this remarkable step today, and congratulations to everybody present here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing that perspective on consumer safety. Ladies and gentlemen, as the world looks towards India to take on world leadership, the initiatives of Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, Government of India, become a shining and stellar example of exemplary leadership that only we, as a nascent and fast-growing economy, can provide. It is our privilege and honor to welcome such an exemplary leader in our midst here today. We warmly welcome General Dr. V.K. Singh, retired, Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. May I request him to kindly address the august gathering. Please welcome with a resounding applause.
Our very dynamic Minister Shri Nitin Gadkari ji, and I have no qualms in saying that if NCAP has come into being and practice, it's all because of him. Just give him a big hand, please. Our Secretary Mod Shri Anurag Jain, our Additional Secretary Road Safety Shri Mahmood Ahmed ji, Shri Vinod Agarwal ji, President Siam, Mr. David Ward, the Foundation Head of Towards Zero, Shri Keshi Sharma, and all our distinguished guests who are present here, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here for a very important event which marks a single slot that probably will lead to great many changes in the way the industry functions as well as how the consumer will benefit from the NCAP program. NCAP program, I know of the effort that Gadkari ji has made over a period of time to convince the auto manufacturers as to what is good and what should be good where a human life is concerned. Human life, human being anywhere in the world has the same value. You can't distinguish that value from region, race, creed, whatever you may want to distinguish in. It has got the same value, and I think adoption and aligning of the global standards on NCAP makes it much more useful where India is concerned. Industry has been changing, and automobile industry today is the third largest in the world. And there are two events that I would like to narrate to you. DCM went into sort of a partnership with Toyota. And when the Toyota team visited the plant in Ropar, they were amazed when they went through the history. And they said this is a beautiful country to work in because the door handle which they used in the mini truck, it hadn't changed from the time that the manufacturing was taking place. No change. Same was the safety standards. When Maruti came into as a knockdown kit in India, the ecosystem started changing. And today the ecosystem allows you to export auto parts to all auto manufacturers in the world. Whatever they demand, it meets the world standards, it meets the world quality. Now that has come because of the ecosystem. And I think where safety is concerned and the safety equipment is concerned, this ecosystem needs to be given a boost so that we also are in line with not only global standards, but we are also exporters to anywhere in the world so that it can meet the demands that keep coming up as the soft safety norms become better and better. There is a need not only to protect life, need to ensure that the testing is done properly, need to ensure that the quality control is there, and people who say that it will cost money, if your production is large enough, you will actually save money. It is a question of what you want to do and what you want to put and to produce the best possible thing so that your margins increase because of the type of production that you will make. And the safer a vehicle is, the better it is for our roads, and we will save more lives because all these lives that we lose in this almost 1,30,000 people who have fatal injuries, these lives matter in the growth, in the GDP, and in the personal lives of anybody who's met with an accident. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, sir, for that very inspiring address. Ladies and gentlemen, we are all set now to witness the launch of Bharat New Car Assessment Program. May I request the Honorable Minister, sir, Shri Nitin Gadkari, to kindly do us the honors by the press of this button. Ladies and gentlemen, as the logo seen and this sticker, which is also on display, this shall be launched by the Honorable Minister in its physical form as well. May we present this to the Honorable Minister, sir, and request him to kindly do us the honors. I request all the dignitaries on the dais to please join in. May I request you all to kindly remove the ribbon and unveil this logo as well as the sticker. So ladies and gentlemen, the logo and the sticker, as you see on this sticker will reiterate the star rating which has been given to each and every automobile manufacturer. Ladies and gentlemen, what an honor it is to have in our midst here today Shri Nitin Gadkari, the Honorable Minister, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. Building road networks is his passion, but driving India towards economic freedom and solidarity is his dream. It is a dream that he has dreamt on ever since he stepped into the world of Indian polity. He has risen from the ranks through the heart of India and truly captures the heart of the common man. Please join me in welcoming him as I request him to address the august gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Minister.
My colleague, Dr. General V.K. Singh ji, our Secretary, Mr. Anurag Jain ji, Additional Secretary, Mr. Mahmood Ahmed ji, our in charge for all this mission, Sri K.C. Sharma ji, Mr. David Ward, President towards Shiro Foundation, Sri Vinod Agrawal ji, President of SIAM, distinguished dignitaries, guests, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a very important day in the history of Indian automobile industry, but even also it is important for the society. I am really appreciate the way in which automobile industry cooperate, and because of their cooperation, today it is the time for all of us that we are launching this Bharat Net program. Now I am really happy that in the interaction with the all automobile industry and all stakeholders and our ministry, and with the suggestion from the different stakeholders also, it is to be prepared in a very systematic way by which it is accepted by all the people. Presently in our country we are facing two important challenges. One is road accident and other is air pollution. Fortunately, our ministry is responsible for that. Every year we have 5 lakhs accidents and 1,50,000 deaths. Every day 1,100 accidents and 400 deaths. Every hour 47 accidents and 18 deaths. 70% of the deaths age group is 18 to 34 years, and the loss of GDP is 3.14%. The reason for which is coming with the record, that defects in motor vehicles, 2,000 plus deaths are there. Head-on collision, 27,000 killed. Side collision, 18,000 killed. Shift from a cost now, this is the very important thing, that we have to protect the life of the people. I am also one of the victims. When I was leader of opposition in Maharashtra, in a police protection, I faced a big accident. My family was there. And at that time I faced a lot of consequences and I experienced about it. Actually, this is very unfortunate that the family which are facing the problem because of the death of their young person from their family, it is really, I cannot explain it into the world. And this is the time that we have the highest priority for this, how we can save the life of the people. And road safety is the most important thing for that. But it is not only the automobile industry is responsible. Somewhere road engineering is a big problem. Our total process of making detailed project report is it's totally wrong methodology, and we select the agency, they create a lot of problems, there are a lot of complications, and because of that also we are facing the problem. We are trying our level best to educate our engineers that what type of mistakes we are repeating again and again in road engineering. At the same time, the other important factor is automobile engineering. For that reason, I am not only blaming to you for that, but these are the important things where we need to improve, and I am taking it as a collective team spirit. We need to establish cooperation, coordination and communication between the stakeholders, and as a government, we want to resolve your problems. We are open for discussion. If anything, any good suggestion from your side, we are ready to accept for that. And now the most important thing which I feel that in the market is not cost centric, the market is quality centric. Even you can experience about it, even the poor people, they don't want to purchase black and white TV. Even the cycle rickshaw puller also you want to purchase color TV. And that is to be a big change, that the mind set up in the, particularly in the industry, that was cost centric. And I understand the cost is very important. But at the same time, people are cautious about the quality, about the model, about the design. And now it is to be experienced by the industry. The companies who are making good designs, good model using good technology, their share is going to increase in the market. And the people, they don't want to change, they are already facing the consequences. So there is a competition with the quality, and safety standards are equally important. And that is one of the reasons is that I will request to all of you, our dream is to make Indian automobile industry of 15 lakh crore. Where I had taken charge as a minister, our industry in the world, the number was 7. Now just 2-3 months before, we have surpassed Japan, and now we are number 3rd. The first number is China, second is USA, third is India. And I am very much sure about it, that India has got a huge potential for export. Our good brand in two-wheelers, they are already exporting 50% of their production. And there is also a lot of technologically changes, particularly in the form of using of different type of fuels. I am very much sure about it, that as far as the cost is concerned, we are very competitive in the world. And in the quality point of view, if you are equal to that, anywhere, whatever the cost may be in USA, even I am confident that a day will come that we will be reasonably equal to China also. And the day will come that people will prefer cost wise and quality wise our automobile industry first in the world. That is really confidence in my mind, and I am sure about it. So for that reason, there is a huge potential is available for the export. The other important thing which I will request you, that today I am giving my special thanks to all of you. Once upon a time, the size, the growth of this industry is really very, very remarkable. The dream of our Prime Minister to make India Atmanirbhar Bharat. The dream of Prime Minister to make India a $5 trillion economy. And the basic backbone of this mission is the automobile industry. One of the largest employers, biggest export and biggest tax paying sector to the government. This industry is giving maximum GST to the state and central government. Up till now, this industry creates 4 crore 50 jobs. And this is the industry which is contributing for our export and the growth. Now the growth rate in the vehicles is 9.91%. And now this is the time I am giving special thanks to all of you for your great work. Now the industry size is coming to 12.50 lakh crore. I always talking about 7.50 lakh crore, but this is the first time the size of the industry is 12.50 lakh crore, and this credit goes to all of you. It is beneficial to all the sectors. At the same time, it is for the country, for the people, for the consumers, for the people who are getting the jobs, government getting the revenue, everywhere. It is a win-win situation. And the industry contributes in GDP, manufacturing, 49%. Export, 4.50 lakh crore. And overall GDP contribution is 6.50%. And really, the growth in automobile industry is 20.25%. I just talking with my friend that India has got the expertise that how to increase the population and how to increase the automobile number. I don't know, the inherent expertise is already there, so you don't bother about that. Now everywhere there are 5 family members and 7 cars they have. They don't have parking facility because we have already constructed the road giving facility to them to park their car on the road. So this is to be the way in which now we are making good roads. Our ministry is responsible for getting you more business. We are making express highway. Now the people are starting for tourism. The lower middle class people are taking car, and with their own car they are moving and making tourism with the whole family because the roads are good. And that is the reason that it is going to create employment potential, at the same time industrial growth. I am really happy that auto industry is very, very important industry for the country, and the mission for all of us to make Indian automobile industry as #1 manufacturing hub in the world. It is difficult, but it is possible. I feel that with the cooperation of all of you, the day will come. And within 2-3 years also you can see the way in which you are moving. 100% I am confident that we are going to increase the production capacity and export. Regarding Bharat NCAP, India's own crash testing program, this is very important. I am giving my special thanks to Mr. Sharma. He is really doing excellent job. And generally, I am publicly giving him stand because he is a genius person. Because these are the laws are very complicated, and being a politician, I am not supposed to understand all the laws. It's so complicated. But Memoji, under his leadership, Mr. Sharma is doing excellent job. He is such a perfect man. Any time when anyone come to me, I just ask him, and he is telling me exactly what is the problem, and he is telling me the solution. And because of his contribution also, he is interact with a lot of people, industry, taking suggestion, and Memoji and Mr. Sharma, with their, really they work very hard for this. because this was the mission for the government to make it this program, accepting this program, and today I am very much happy about it. The cost of testing from abroad, it is 2.5 crore, and in India, Bharat NCAP, it come to 60 lakhs. So there can be a good market for institute. They should be also professional, ARI and all this organization. There should be a professional approach. The principle of democratic government is helping to the poor people and taking money from the person who can affordable to give it. So the way in which we can catch that business also, there is an opportunity for that. ARI, ICAT, CRT, NATRAX and GRC, independent and impartial crash testing centers. Only my request to them, that time is the most important thing. You have to fix up the time when you accept the model, you give them time. Within 1 month, within 2 months, you should give the report. Years, 2 year work is going on, that is not good. Somewhere, transparency, time-bound decision-making process and corruption-free system. It is very important for the country, for the society, and our Prime Minister constantly insists on it, that ease of business. And ease of business is very important. The star rating according to Indian context and standards, now it is not equivalent to global standards. Probably there is no much gap is there. I just requested our Honorable Secretary that you talk with him, and if you can give the recognition of this Bharat NCAP with the global standard, then it can be a great thing for the country, for the people. If anywhere, with your suggestion, we need to add something for that, even we can consider. And that is the reason that we have to make everything up to the global standards. And I always remember that with the global standards, 100% your market is going to increase. I am really happy that it is going to helpful to the consumers. By this star rating, Bharat NCAP, people can understand the quality of the product. And now we are going to create awareness in the mind of the customers. And it is really important that they can understand what is the quality of the product. At the same time, I feel that there is a huge domestic demand for higher star rating vehicles in India. One thing you remember, the people are quality conscious. People are very, very quality conscious. Now people are very cautious about the safety. People are very cautious about pollution. People want to use different type of fuel because they are fed up with the pollution. And because there are a lot of people who are facing crucial problems regarding the air pollution also, that is a big challenge. I feel that if anywhere, if new option is there, alternative is there, people are ready to accept that. I am really happy that today, this is really one of the historical day where we are launching this program, and today we have the report which has given to me that the request to test and certify more than 30 models of different companies under Bharat NCAP has already been received. I am really happy for your response, and I am giving my special thanks to all of you, and particularly the cooperation of auto companies. I am really happy. Now this is the way in which we are marching towards international standards and towards global economy. The dream of our Prime Minister is to make Indian economy of world's strongest economy. And for that reason, we have to always maintain the quality at the cost, both are important. The way in which we are marching towards that goal is very, very important. And as a minister, I am assuring you that if we need to establish a good cooperation, coordination and communication between the stakeholders, we are always open. I am always telling to people, convince me or convinced by me. At the time, I remember when Euro 6 problem was there regarding emission, a lot of industry was not happy about me, about my decision. But after that, because of all of cooperation given by you, we are now successfully implemented that program. There are some type of problems, mistakes from our side. We are open-minded. If your suggestions from your side coming to us, we are ready to rectify. And today, that is exactly the theme of our management, that come together, thinks together and works together. And I always tell you people one of the important equation in mathematics. A person works A square, B person works B square, the total work is A square plus B square. But where A and B comes together, thinks together and works together, A plus B bracket square equal to A square plus B square plus twice AB. And the twice AB is a result of collective team spirit, and that credit goes to all of you. Once again, I am giving my special thanks to industry for their cooperation, and I feel that this will be remarkable change in your economy also, that it is going to increase the production and giving more profits and more number of order, not domestic market, but also in the international market to you. This is to be a great thing for the country. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's truly the mark of a true leader, taking inspiration from his own road accident to define a world-class safety initiative for the common Indian citizen, truly embodying Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Ladies and gentlemen, may I request for another applause for the Honorable Minister, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning, a memorandum of understanding was signed between Towards Zero Foundation and the Central Institute of Road Transport. May I now request for the exchange of this memorandum of understanding. May I invite Mr. David Ward, President Towards Zero Foundation, and Dr. T. Suryakiran from the Central Institute of Road Transport to kindly exchange the memorandum of understanding. Ladies and gentlemen, in the august presence of Shri Nitin Gadkari, the Honorable Minister, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, General Dr. V.K. Singh, retired Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, this memorandum of understanding is being exchanged. And now it gives me great pleasure to invite forth Shri Paresh Kumar Goyal, Director Transport, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, to kindly give his closing remarks.
Namaskar. Good afternoon to all. As we conclude this program on behalf of Ministry of Road Transport and Highway, I sincerely thank all the dignitaries for their active participation. First and foremost, we are grateful to our Honorable Minister, Road Transport and Highways, Shri Nitin Gadkari, for taking time out of his busy schedule and gracing this occasion with his presence. We are thankful for his leadership, guidance, which has led to the road transport sector making rapid strides and a significant transformation in the recent years. We are also grateful for the guidance and the word of encouragement by Honorable Minister of State, Road Transport and Highways, General Dr. V.K. Singh. We express our heartfelt thanks to Secretary Shri Anurag Jain for his continuous support and providing valuable inputs in the strengthening of the regulatory system for the road transport in India. We are also thankful to Mr. David Ward and the other representatives of Towards Zero Foundation for their support in making Bharat NCAP a reality, which will go in a long way in ensuring safer motor vehicles on Indian roads on par with global standard. I would also like to thank and acknowledge the contribution of CIRT Pune for providing administrative support to Bharat NCAP program. We are also thankful to all testing agencies which have been important stakeholders in respect of motor vehicles in India and which shall be playing a crucial role in assigning safety ratings under Bharat NCAP. The contribution and support of automobile manufacturers in driving the growth in the road transport sector in India have been tremendous. We are thankful for their active participation and solicit their support in future for a successful implementation of this program. Various industry associations, SIAM, ACMA, also have been a very important stakeholders in the formulation and effective implementation of various policy measures undertaken by MORTH. We look forward for their continuous and constructive support and a result-oriented collaboration with them
for driving the success of Bharat NCAP along with various other initiatives. We are also thankful for Save Life Foundation, which has been providing knowledge support to the ministry in the area of improving road safety to reduce accident and fatalities. I would also like to thank all the officials from MARTH, NHI, NHIDCL for attending this program and making this event successful. The contribution made by the team which has been working behind the scene, which is constituent of consultants and other officials in organizing this event, has been tremendous. On behalf of ministry, I would also like to thank all the media persons present here for covering this event and ensuring it reaches a wider audience in India and abroad as well. With the consistent and joint effort of all the stakeholders, considerable progress made towards improving the safety paradigm of motor vehicles in India shall go a long way in driving the growth in road transport in coming years. We reinforce our commitment for making our roads and vehicles safer and shall continue to take initiatives in this regard. Thank you everyone for joining this event. Now I would like to request you all to kindly proceed for the lunch. Thank you.